Hello and welcome to this review of the Vicidity T6 Nimble Robotic Hoover. This cost me £80 from Amazon. So I've always wanted a robotic hoover, but is it a gimmick? Stay to the end of the video and I will tell you if it's a gimmick or not. Now the unit can be controlled by an app, just turning it on and leaving it to run, or by controlling it with included remote control. The unit also came with a charging dock, a detangler, and of course the remote control, and all that for £80. Now I couldn't get the app to work at all. I found the app completely useless and it just didn't connect and it didn't work. I don't know if I was doing something wrong or it just wasn't very good. Now the way the Hoover works is you have adjustable wheels so it can go up or down on different surfaces. If there's a little bump in the road, it will cope with that, and it has two of these spinners, and what the spinners do, they brush dirt and debris into the path of this suction device. This hoovers it up and puts it into the bin at the back. It has some hair traps here, which is really useful as well. The unit also came with 4 spares here, so I'm not too worried about these wearing out because I've got spares. Now in terms of this moving around, you can set it to work on edges of a room, you can set it to work in a random pattern, or you can set it to work in a spiral pattern where it moves out from the center. Alternatively, you can just use the remote to drive it a certain way if you want to. The remote is a really nice feature and very useful. So the bin at the back is quite small. You can see that's its capacity. The unit also came with some spare filters for the bin as well. So my experience is you're going to have to empty the bin once per floor. It has a bumper at the front. When it bumps into something, it changes direction, so it can work around your furniture. So it keeps turning and going forward until it stops bumping into something. When you charge it, it seems to hold its charge for a long time. And I think this is going to be quite cheap to maintain in terms of getting parts. So the parts that need replacing are going to be quite easy to replace and quite cheap to replace because it uses standard robotic parts. Well, the one thing I found with using a robotic hoover is you need to move things out of the way. And the reason you need to move things out of the way is because some things can get tangled up on here. Most of the time they won't, because the bumper works really well and the unit doesn't crash into things too much because the bumper makes it change direction, but occasionally there are things it can get tangled up in. So before I run this hoover, there are certain things I'm going to pick up off the floor. Those are going to be things like shoes, because shoelaces can get tangled up. So if you're using a robotic hoover, you are going to need to go round and pick a few things up off the floor. A human will hoover the floor quicker than a robotic vacuum. It might hit something and change direction, but what you can do is you can set it running and leave it. But if you leave it running long enough, it is going to hoover everything. Chairs of a certain height it can go under, but it's not going to go under your settee. So is this a gimmick? I think not. I think it does have its uses, but certainly you still need to put some effort into using a robotic hoover. It's not a magic wand that means you can sit up, put your feet up and not bother with the hoovering. You do need to put some effort in. Thank you, goodbye.